You know, one of the interesting things about the whole Warner Brothers drama about who was going to buy Warner Brothers, Netflix or Paramount was I've talked about this a lot. When Netflix first got into the fray, that they were also interested in getting Warner Brothers. I said, my initial reaction was, I said it on this show, Netflix getting Warner Brothers would be the worst case scenario. This would be cataclysmic.
Mm-hmm.
However, what intelligent people do, and I try to at least act intelligent, what intelligent people do is as new information becomes available, we reevaluate our opinions. That's what one should do when new information comes out. And Ted Sarandos, who, the rep of him has always been, he hates movie theaters and blah, blah, blah. Well, he started coming out and started doing the tours and talking about how, listen, this is a completely different business than ours. We like what they do. And we've never done theatrical because theatrical isn't part of what we do at Netflix, but it is what Warner Brothers does. And we want to get in that business. And they have the distribution infrastructure. They have all the experience. They have the personnel. They have it all. And we want to be in that game. And then he laid out why they wanted to be in that game and why they wanted to be theatrical. And here's the thing. While some people who don't think for themselves started going, well, he's just saying that he's lying. Well, why? Nobody wanted to put forward the why. Why? Okay, so if he doesn't want Warner Brothers to be in the theatrical business, then why does he want Warner Brothers? Nobody would ever say why.
No.
The people would be like, well, he's just lying. Okay, so what's his secret ulterior motive here?
The bad taste came from the actor and writer strikes. And it's like lingering
and
scars,
understandably so.
And it's lingering scars from that, because even I at first felt that way. Like, well, he kind of seemed like he wanted to ruin the industry but it just doesn't make sense on paper.
Now, they were offering to buy Warner Brothers for the $70 to $80 billion range. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, he just wants to buy Warner Brothers so he can kill movie theaters. You do realize he could buy all 5 of the top 5 movie theater chains for probably about $5 billion total.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of $70 billion to get Warner Bros. But anyway, what I said on the show was, I sat down and I did the math and I said, oh, yeah, Ted Sarandos doing what Ted Sarandos said he was going to do is in his own best interests. And if there's anything I trust in, is I trust in the greed of corporations to always do what is in their own best interests. I have never, Jonathan, that philosophy has never led me astray. That philosophy has never gotten me in trouble. If you trust in corporations' greed to always do what is in their own best interests,
right,
you will never be let down.
Sometimes that benefits the people, sometimes it doesn't.
Yep. Now, who it benefits? But
it benefits the
you
company.
always know the corporations will act in their own best interest.
Right.
And it just became apparent doing this deal with Warner Brothers was, in fact, in Netflix's best interests.
Mm-hmm.
So I believed in it. Somebody asked me a question, though, on the show the other day, a little bit ago, like after it became clear that Paramount had increased their bid and Netflix backed out of the deal. Somebody wrote in and asked, do I see Netflix still wanting to get into theatrical? And I think I said at the time something along the lines of, yes, but they can't do it themselves. They don't have that infrastructure. They don't have the logistics. They don't have that experience and that expertise. They needed something like Warner Brothers to do it. But I said, I do think Sarandos has caught a bit of the theatrical bug. Well, in a new story in Deadline, Ted Sarandos, without getting into it too much, kind of tipped his hand a little bit. He said this. This is Sarandos speaking. He said, I had a great meeting in February with the International Union of Cinemas and the heads from all the different countries about what challenges they have, how we could be more helpful as Netflix, or how they could be helpful to us too, said Sarandos. I think we'll come out of this, the failed Warner Brothers acquisition, I think we'll come out of this with a much more creative relationship with exhibition. Exhibition is another word for the movie theaters. I think we'll come out of this with a much more creative relationship with theaters around the world. And by way of example, doing things that we haven't done before. I don't recommend testifying before Senate again, but it was an amazing experience for sure. Which is, that's because you remember he got he had to go into that furnace in those Senate hearings. But I think this is interesting. And I think, because, when I was asked about that thing with Sarandos and could we see Netflix, after everything they said about it during the Warner Brothers acquisition, now that Warner Brothers is off the table, I said, I don't know what they can do, because again, they don't have Warner Brothers. You can't just say we're going to be a theatrical movie production team now. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
But I said, I think he caught the bug a little bit. And hearing him coming out now, when he doesn't have Warner Brothers, he's not in the run to get it, saying, you know what? I had some great meetings with movie theater owners, and I think we can help them, and I think they can help us. And I think moving forward, we're going to see a more creative relationship between us and theaters. Again, they do not have the logistical infrastructure to now suddenly become a global distributor of their own films.
Right.
They just don't have it. But it's going to be interesting to see in what ways Netflix can gradually and progressively more and more get their feet more and more wet in that pool of theatrical. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go with it. Or if they are indeed just playing 4D chess and they know Paramount's going to drown in its own debt and they're going to come in and buy Paramount and Warner Brothers for pennies on the dollar in 3 years. Who knows? We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Factor. Hey guys, you know how it is. Between the daily live show, tracking the latest box office numbers, and planning our next movie meetup in the van, my schedule gets absolutely hectic. Now, somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing short season is getting close, eating well stops just being optional. Factor is how we stop letting a busy schedule be our excuse. They provide fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. I had their smoky Gouda mac and shredded beef after a long editing session last week on that Spider-Man Rights video I did, and it was amazing. So whether you're looking for calorie smart options or the new Muscle Pro collection, which is perfect if you're getting back into a workout routine, they have 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh. And the best part? They are always fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes with zero prep and zero stress. I love it, and I think you will too. So head over to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Ted Sarandos is saying that he's reflecting on his meetings he had with theatrical owners. He thinks they're going to have a more robust relationship with theaters moving forward. What does that look like when they don't have their own distribution arm? It's going to be interesting to see. Whatever you guys think about that, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.